On this episode of The Mimic's Veil, Alex, Ben, and Lewis discuss Game of Thrones, a Telltale Games Series, Angerfoot, and Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree.
So I started, I think straight away after finishing it the first time round, I went into New Game Plus without much thought, and sort of played it for about 5 hours or so, and then stopped because it was just consuming my life. But it was quite easy. I seem to remember just absolutely demolishing through, even like Radan, up to Radan, just absolutely battering past most bosses. And then I was like, right, packed it in. And then on the run up to the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, I was like, right, I have to I have to finish New Game Plus because I hadn't beat Moog or finished. No, you have to finish the game or beat Radan. Oh no, I had beat Radan, but I hadn't beaten Moog. So I had to finish New Game Plus. So I did that. All the way in maybe 2 or 3 weeks to the launch. I still haven't platinumed it. No platinum, because I'm doing it the real way.
What a loser.
For all the real guys, all the real gamers out there, it's the proper way of doing it. It's not save scumming like some people would maybe do. Not that I didn't try it, and I found it was too much of a hassle.
Yeah. See, everyone chastises the way of the cheese, but when you think about it, isn't using a shield and parrying, that's cheesy, isn't it, really? Like, you have to protect yourself.
Why wear clothes?
Exactly. Yeah, I prefer to be a glass cannon. Can I ask you, though, just before you move on to Erdtree, why New Game Plus? Why didn't you just pick up your original save and go back into where you had beaten Moog and Radan?
Because it overwrites your save.
Oh shit. So you couldn't. Because you were an eager beaver and you did New Game Plus, you couldn't then go back to your old save.
No.
That's a bitch, isn't it?
But if we'd save scum, then you had that up in the cloud then.
Exactly. I actually did it. I turned off cloud saves. And I was like, I'd done a few pieces, and I was like, this is going to end in me crying. I'm going to end up uploading the wrong thing and losing something. But yeah, so once you start New Game Plus, it like invites you to, I think, from memory, or you sit on the throne. I can't remember.
Throne of Lies.
The throne. And that's when you start New Game Plus. So you have to either finish it. I had to finish it because I couldn't get past Moog. Moog was so difficult, I found. And it wasn't until after I'd finished New Game Plus that I did Moog. But it was a great time. I'm going to do New Game Plus so I can platinum it. And I've got 2 things I need to do. I need to get the normal ending, the default ending, the easy one, and 1 legendary armament. Which is, I totally missed it. Not that I was using the guide.
So what ending did you get to begin with? What was your...
The one...
Was it the fire one?
Yes. The 3 fingers, spoiler.
Yeah.
Or the 1 middle finger. I can't remember how many fingers it was. Something to do with fingers. You beat a boss, you go down. Yes, that's the one.
Where you go underground and...
yeah.
Touch a finger or something.
Touch a finger, yeah. So a lot of touching fingers. Did that. And then, so I need to get the default ending. And so it's just a case of going through and doing all the main story bosses. But even then, so DLC, beat Moog, I was midnight on the dot waiting for the DLC to go live. Mainly because I had nothing better to do. I was at 11:30. I was like, I probably got to my bed, but I can maybe get half an hour in, 40 minutes into the DLC, and then go to sleep.
I mean, that's already like 2.5 hours past bedtime. Like, can I not go to bed?
I know. I cannot relate to that at all. thought of starting a game like that at midnight.
Just a little tester, a little teaser.
Right, so I relented and bought the DLC a week after it came out, and I still haven't touched it because I just can't. There hasn't been the optimum conditions to play it yet. Like for me, I've got to really feel like getting into a game like that. So for you to be sat there in your pants at midnight, I imagine you're in your pants. Whenever I picture you in my mind's eye, you're in your pants.
Yes.
At midnight, just strapped in, ready to play.
Exactly. Well, I was playing it anyway. It was like 11:30, and I was like, I'll just stay up. And it was a Friday. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a Thursday. I was up at work the next day. Yeah, so I hung around and waited, and it was like bang on 12. I was there trying to like see if the prompt was available for me to touch the hand. So it wasn't there. Jumped out the game, turned the PS5 off, turned it back on again. Still wasn't working. I was like checking online to see when the live times were. I was like, have I just knackered this? And it's like 3:30 in the morning UK time for it to go live. No, I hadn't actually installed the DLC, so it wasn't there because I bought it on a browser, not on the PS5.
Yeah.
So it was on my profile, but it wasn't actually installed. I was like, I've just wasted 25 minutes.
Just on that point, do you find the whole PS5 DLC downloading extra content is a bit convoluted? I do find like that's caught me out a couple of times. Like Resident Evil 4, when they released the VR mode for that, it took me a good while to figure out how to actually get into it, and it feels like it shouldn't be that difficult, but it is.
But like, I can't remember buying DLC on the console. Does it just install?
Usually, I think it usually does, and even usually when you buy it on the browser, it gives you a prompt to say click here to install onto this PS5. So something, I guess it depends whether it's available to install at the point at which you bought it.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, so I wasted like 25 minutes trying to install it. So it was 25 past 12 before I actually got time to play it. So I was like, I'll still get to 40 minutes.
Honestly, I'm amazed that you had the patience. I would have not stuck around. I've gone, not meant to be. I'm going to bed grumpy. Although you probably go to bed grumpy every
I go to bed grumpy anyway. But it's one of those, like, I'd started looking at it. I was like, I've been defeated by this game too many times to be defeated by the installation of DLC. So, done it. And then, entered the Land of Shadow. That's what it's called, I think, from memory.
Land of
Shadow.
Skadoo.
Apparently it's... I heard Vati Vidya. That guy.
Do it in his voice.
Shadow. Shadow.
Now do it in his voice.
So it looks like Skadoo, but apparently it's Shadow.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's an old English word. The old English spelling means shadow. The old English spelling of shadow is Skadoo.
Skadoo. And like, so I'm enjoying it. I've not finished it yet. And initially, I was finding it not easy, but there is like a slight. I'd heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a lot more difficult." Like from the folk who got to go and play it on early access or whatever, the influencer types going to play it early. The difficulty spike was quite high, so I spent a bit of time sort of roaming around the graveyard plain, which is the initial area that you find yourself in. And then, you notice, like, you go for a little wander, see where you can get to before you get your head kicked in by a random enemy. So I find myself making my way towards a mausoleum, not too far away from the first grace point. I went down there and just was getting absolutely battered by this mausoleum boss. And it's one of those ones that I was like, I know exactly what I should be doing here. The the attacks from their side were telegraphed enough for me to know when to dodge out the way, but time and time again, just could not get past this thing, and was just struggling. So I actually finished my first night going to bed quite grumpy, even more grumpy, because I was struggling with what, in my head, an experienced Elden Ringer would have thought was an easy sub-boss.
Yeah.
Not to be.
It's funny. Do you feel like you because obviously you played the base game in the approach to this coming out, so you must have knocked off the dust doing that. Because I felt or the dust or the rust,
both dust and rust,
rusted dust. But do you? Because when I jumped back in to get to the point where the DLC starts, because I wanted to just be ready, I thought, I'll have a quick wander around and see if I can remember. And I'd forgotten every single control, every how did I do that cool spell that just obliterates? Couldn't remember anything at all. Like, how do I assign my flasks? How do I get my magical horse? It's all gone. So I'd imagine. I guess the thing with Elden Ring is you can kind of just wander around and have a little go at someone, and oh shit, they're kicking my ass. I can just run away again.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably what I need to do is just bite the bullet, get into it, die several times, but then the muscle memory would hopefully start coming back after an hour.
Wouldn't take too long.
I think that's absolutely why I've got no intention of going anywhere near this. I feel like Elden Ring had its way with me, and once was enough. Like, I'm not going back for seconds. So, like, for all the experience and all we loved it at the time, I have absolutely no desire to go and learn it again, to go and get my ass handed to me by the DLC.
Yeah, because it's been 2 years since you both played it, I guess.
Yeah. And you didn't love it, did you, Alex? There was like a time. I think you had. I
didn't love it at the beginning, and then I had the turning point, and I definitely got there with it. But even then, like, I very much feel if I picked it up again, I'd be back to that not loving it stage, and probably wouldn't get to the turning point this time. And like, even the fact I know, like, you don't have your horsey or anything in this one, do you? The horse isn't in the videos. Is it there?
I'd heard that. I think it was on one podcast. Maybe we listened to the same one, Alex. That someone said, "Oh, you don't really get your horse in this one." But I asked because we've got a little separate Erdtree chat, and I think I asked in there, and apparently you can.
You do.
It's torrent, isn't it?
Torrent, yeah, you do.
I thought it was cool.
There is over the last day or so, there is an area where you can't use it, but I felt like I was using the horse too much. I was like, should I be running around, exploring more? I was like, nah, I want to get there as fast as possible. Run through these enemies, opposed to, trying to take them on with a sword, Ben.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why would you do any of that? So I think I need a guiding hand to ease me in gently to the game. Now, if I wanted to, let's not say cheese it, but if I wanted to make it as easy for myself as possible, would my strategy be to go in, get all those upgrade Erdtree fragments? That's the upgrade currency, right? And just get as many of them as possible before doing anything difficult. Is that possible to do?
No. Because they're littered around the area. But you still get runes. You can still
upgrade in the old school way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so they're littered around, so doesn't that mean I can just stumble across them without having to fight anything? Or do you have to win a fight in order to get them?
Yes and no. So some are behind a boss. Maybe you don't get them for beating the boss, but say there's an area past where they are.
Okay.
There's bits there, but there are others that are just sort of dotted around the place.
Just in the world. Okay. So if one wanted to find a guide that told you where all of them are, one could.
Yes. Well, why would you do that?
Well.
Each to his own.
Each to his own. There's no wrong way to play. It's just an option. Good to know. Yeah.
But so the played for a good long while. I for the first time ever, so I think I don't know how many actual story bosses there are, but I'd say on 90% of the bosses I have faced. So just say this: instantly, I'll cast for the mimic to come up. So it's like
Standard.
two me's going at it. Phrasing.
Oh, there's an image.
To try and beat the boss. And you also sometimes get summons for the boss, depending on if you've spoke to certain people, blah, blah, blah. On, a good high percentage of these boss battles, I have died. And then within the space of the 2 or 3 seconds you get before the game resets itself, either the mimic or the summon has killed the boss.
Right. But does that count, or does your death count?
It depends when it's timed. So on the times when I've had it happen, it has counted. Right. And I've been like, oh, I feel like I've cheated a little bit here. Satisfying victory. And I was like, the amount of times that I've had in Souls games where you just get, like, it feels like you have no chance. Like the Fire Giant, for example, 10 hours I spent against that thing. Yeah. And I would have wished for something like that to come up.
That just reminds me of when, didn't we both join you as well, trying to beat him all at the same time?
Yes.
It just made it worse. More difficult. Yeah. I remember just going, don't worry, Lewis, I'll help you out. And it was like, oh, fucking hell. Yeah. Much harder.
And it was like they patched out the way of cheesing it as well. It was like, oh, you just come and they fall over here and he's stuck and then you can just kill him. Like, no, doesn't work anymore. No. Yeah. Like, that fucking Fire Giant. But it was never, like, that was the most ecstasy that we ever experienced when we beat that thing. Like, genuinely.
It's one of those that, also on New Game Plus, first time Fire Giant, because I was quite high level for it. But the first time beating it, it was like, take that, Fire Giant.
Yeah.
You know, like,
forget the 100 times you've beaten me. Yeah.
You what?
That's the one that stands out in my mind as being the hardest. I don't think, like, even, I know everyone says, like, Melania has been really hard. I don't remember her being too difficult. But Fire Giant took several attempts, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I think mainly for me, because that's the first time I had to use like a bladed weapon, because you have to kind of get in between his legs, right, and chop him down that way. And so I had no choice but to unleash a giant magical sword and try and chop him down like that.
Yeah,
it's not the way of the cheese mage, unfortunately.
No. Not at all.
Do you think my final question on the approachability of Erdtree? Do you see any reason why one could not use magic throughout this? Do you think that would be a viable option to just hang back, rain meteors, and let them handle the rest?
Maybe.
And just
I'm not sure.
Constantly.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. I respect more or less to use the same weapon I did on my first playthrough, and it seems to be working. But I'm at the final boss now, and I'm just getting absolutely destroyed.
I've heard that is.
It seems impossible.
Challenge, yeah. Good. Well, I will definitely. I think I'll need to set a few hours aside to myself to just go, right, everyone else go away. Let me not be stressed out and just get used to the controls and the atmosphere and the horrible everything out to get you feeling. It's
so well written, like, and I'm not clever enough to pick up on any lore when it's or like when you get items to read the items. That's why I watch YouTube videos of people who are interested in that, and I'll happily watch them explain things like Vati Video, because their videos are excellent and all that kind of stuff. So there's loads of lore in it, and it's so well voice acted and written. It's all that stuff's a joy, but there are bosses that are very tricky. Like I said, you have luck like me, and Just get your summons to do the job.
Nice.
You sold it, Alex, didn't you?
Yeah.
You don't have it anymore. Yeah.
No, and I think that was definitely for the best, because there's absolutely to go now and play that, I would need the whole, like, buying the whole game plus the DLC. So there's no chance of that.
Yeah, it's a good deterrent. I sold I've still got the base game, but I sold all my special edition Gumph. So in order to buy a PSVR 2. You live and learn. I'm joking. I've swapped one statue for another. It's fine. No, I'm joking. But while we're on the subject of fantasy worlds and George R.R. Martin, in fact, have either of you been watching Hot D, House of the Dragon?
No, but I want to.
No.
Did you watch the first season, Alex?
No, I haven't watched any of it yet.
Oh,
I've watched the first season. Yeah.
It is this second season. I don't know why. I think because maybe I just know what's going on more, because I've found the first season a little bit much in terms of all the different characters, and there's like 1,000 children with long blonde hair.
Yeah.
This second season just hits. Like, what were you going to say?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say, especially the most difficult episode in the first series for me was the one that the screen was just black. You couldn't see anything.
I don't remember that one.
Do you know what? There was one episode, and I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, I can't see a thing. It's like turn the brightness up on this. And then I looked online,
I heard
and
you
people were
say that
saying,
about something before.
And The Witcher. Sand kicked in my eyes. And online it was saying that one episode was particularly difficult to see anything that was going on.
Yeah.
That was like the last couple of episodes of the last series of Game of Thrones as well, though some of them were really dark.
Yeah, I mean they should have left the camera off. Just not done. It would have helped. It was so bad. But yeah, this House of the Dragon's really good, and I think it's got me properly back into Game of Thrones, because I was really into it when it first came out. Obviously, the last 2 or 3 seasons were shite, but I used to love it, and I used to listen to podcasts, listen to like instant reaction podcasts, and then like a more detailed breakdown. And now I'm doing that for House of the Dragon as well.
You kept that quiet though.
Did I?
You never said. Yeah, you never said that. It wasn't until Ben, years later, that I realised that when you kept on saying that Scotland, where the Snarks and Grumpkins live, or whatever, is from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I never know. I was like, there must be some real Game of Thrones head.
Wow. Yeah, no, I am. I was actually chatting to Ethan about it today, and it's like, if you could see our chat with each other, it's like pure nerd. Actually, I think they could ride a dragon because they're of the blood of old Valyria. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, so I've just been getting really into that, and that has prompted me to seek out a way to play Game of Thrones, the Telltale game, which is pretty hard to come by. It's basically delisted in every digital storefront now.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't actually get it. I think you can buy a physical copy, like for PS4, but then I don't think it includes the final episode. So it's like broken into 6 episodes, and you get like 1 to 5, as far as I'm aware, something like that. There might be a way around it to get that 6th episode, but basically, it's very hard to get your hands on it and to play it. But fortunately, shout out to Ethan again. He gave me his login to GOG, and he's got that game already. He bought it back in the day. So I've just installed that on my Steam Deck and played it on there. And it's like a little side story to Game of Thrones. Basically takes place roughly after like the Red Wedding. And you're playing like this minor house, and you take control of a few different characters. I've never played a Telltale game before. I think the closest
Same.
I've got,
never.
I played
Closest I've got
Oh,
is the what was that one that came out on the Xbox a couple of years ago that was like that choice-based game.
As
You know what
Dusk
it is.
Falls.
As Dusk Falls, that was it. That's probably the closest I've got to one. But yeah, it's brilliant. Like, it's so well done. Yeah, I did completely get into it, and it's got the like the original cast voice acting in it. So obviously,
really?
they're not the main characters, but like you meet Cersei, you meet Tyrion, Jon Snow, all the rest of it, and it's like their actual voice actors, which I was really surprised by because it looks rubbish. Like the graphic style is, pretty shy.
Is it just like all Telltale games, like that kind of weird, cel-shaded comic book style? Yeah.
But you just soon forget about that. And when after I played the little pre-titles bit and then the whole Game of Thrones opening credits thing starts and it's got the actual music and it's going around the map sort of thing, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I just absolutely gobbled it up like in a couple of days and just loved it. So like, if you are a Game of Thrones fan, like it's well worth seeking out a way to play it because it's fun. I think I must have made terrible decisions at every possible turn because the ending for me was like nothing positive at all. Like everyone died who I cared about. So yeah, the replay value is obviously there to try and see if you can actually save some people. And
how long is an episode? How long it take?
About an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd say about an hour.
I can't remember much of it, but I did play this along. Must have been. It wasn't long after I moved into my old house because I remember playing it in the attic on the projector on the big screen. So
Nice.
But about an hour because I've got the platinum and I think I have this digitally on PlayStation. I think I must. And it was. I remember enjoying it because I like a Telltale game. Probably for me, The Walking Dead are the best ones. And I don't like The Walking Dead. I've never watched the TV show, but for the actual Telltale games are very, very good. Same as Wolf Among Us. That's a very good one.
Yeah. So it's made me want to play those. Like I've got The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us on my PlayStation, so it's made me want to like give them a go. Even though I like you, I've never seen Walking Dead, never really been asked about it. And the only reason I played this was because it's Game of Thrones. It's made me go, I can see why these games are as highly regarded as they are now. And a lovely, easy platinum for certainly for Walking Dead. Supposed to be like just play
some
through
of
the
them
story, right?
And the ones, so like The Walking Dead, they released it like as a whole game, and then they gave you one platinum for the whole game. But initially, you got a platinum for each bit.
Oh,
really?
Pretty good. Yeah.
the glory days.
Shouldn't be allowed. Should not be allowed.
Yeah. But no, definitely check it out. I'd love to find a way to play it on PlayStation, to replay it and get some trophies for my time. That would be great.
I'll have a wee look and see in which way that I own it, then. And we'll see if we can work something out.
I was going to say, do you know why they've taken them off digital storefronts? But, decisions, God knows why they make them.
Well, but probably the licensing when old Telltale died and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good. It tells a really good story as well. Like it is like proper, it feels proper Game of Thrones level storytelling as well. And just to be in it and be able to dictate the way the story goes is very cool.
Let's find him out, Alex. Let's find this guy. Have you read the books, Ben?
I have, yeah.
Damn it. I thought you were going to say, I just watched the TV show.
No, I've read the books and I've listened to the audiobooks. And I'm listening to the audiobooks again at the moment as well. Yeah.
I'm on the third audiobook. I've been on the third audiobook for a year.
They are meaty tomes, aren't they?
Yeah. Especially listening to them back to back, which I was doing. I think I've got to that point where I was like, I just need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. And loving House of the Dragon. And recommend definitely getting into that.
Need to get around to watching it. It's been a bit, I've only heard good things and more recently, and I'm like, I really need to watch it. So it's hopefully soon.
It's a banger. What about you, Al? What have you been playing?
See, I've been in. It's a bit like you, Ben, about being in the right headspace for games, and I feel like ever since, and this probably goes back to March, maybe ish. And obviously, I had exams and loads of other stuff going on, so I didn't get into like any meaty games. And I almost feel like I've still got a hangover from Infinite Wealth. Like, so when I finished Infinite Wealth, like that was 80, 90 hours, and I loved every minute of it. And every now and then I'll just drop back into it to go and tidy up. I've still not kind of cleared everything off the map and loads of different bits of sub stories and stuff to do, and I'll jump back in. But I've been playing loads of little games, and I've kind of finally found a love for the Steam Deck probably since you got yours, and we've been having a little lovely family library with our nice little games that we've been sharing.
Or just sharing our addiction of just buying anything that's on offer.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I got this one. It's only 49p. Yeah.
But the one I've been playing over the last kind of week, probably, it's only been out for about a week. It's Angerfoot, and it's so much fun. Like,
I've never heard of this.
It's just such a stupid game. Like, it's a Devolver game, and essentially it's a bit how would you describe it? It's kind of like Hotline Miami type in terms of like really fast paced, small levels to get through. And I've never played Neon White. But to me, this is what, from everything I remember people talking about Neon White about, this is what I imagine Neon White to be a bit like in terms of the small levels and try to get to the end in the fastest time and stuff like
basically.
That, combat. And that's what this is, except you're this guy who's, you basically go through and you're kicking doors in to like take out these like mad crocodiles and random like enemies. You do get to like more as you go through it. There's more kind of traditional enemies. You take their guns off them, so you've got like a foot. Your left trigger is essentially a foot to kick. Your right trigger's your gun, and you're just trying to get through this level as fast as you can. But it's just daft. And you've got like I think you're maybe about a minute. You could try to do a level in maybe about a minute, and if you do it like under 40 seconds, you get an extra star and things like that.
Yeah. Do you need to unlock a certain amount of stars in order to get to the next bit, like world and stuff? Okay, that's good. I like that.
And it's like I think it's 3 stars for each level, and it's nice for picking up, not thinking too much about it. There's probably a little bit of a story there, like in what as you earn stars, you unlock new like feet and trainers and different styles of foot to like kick people with, and it really is just silly. And
you're playing it on deck, did you say?
Yes, it plays beautifully on Steam.
So is this in our family library?
It has been. It certainly, unless it's not family shareable, it should be there.
I'll check that out as you're speaking.
So is that like per account? So you buy the game once and it's shared amongst all the users?
Get involved, Lewis. That's you do love a bargain.
No, I cannot buy a Steam Deck. That's with the character models. So I've just like Googled it, and the first thing that came in my head, and you guys were talking about Neon White, but for me, and I know it's nothing like it, it's like Human Fall Flat and Gang Beasts, just on the basis of one of the characters just looks like they wouldn't be out of place in those games. But it looks really cool.
And it's you get like see like the end credit screens and stuff, and the wee guy that kicks about, it gives you almost like the humour almost is a little bit Deadpool like. I get like kind of proper Deadpool vibes from like the little cutscenes and stuff, and it's really good. It just makes you laugh, and
it's not a roguelike, is it? It's like a full A to B. That's good.
No, it's just a story essentially. It's just you can do it as many times as you can to go through, and you can be really methodical about it and slow and just stand back until they come for you. If you're not bothered about doing it in time, you can almost the accessibility of it and the difficulty more comes from how you approach it rather than changing any settings.
Oh, and how long to beat has it at 4 hours?
That probably is about right.
Optimum length.
That is good. Is it like fully voice acted all that sort of stuff.
There's little bits in there. There's,
Just like character dialogue when you're
yeah,
shooting
because
or
it's not
something
like
like
it's a proper story. Because it's just like music kind of kicking about in the background as you're going through, and then there's like it's almost you're kind of wandering through the city, and then you go in a door, and that'll be a level at some points, and then the music kicks
okay.
in, and it's you're going through. So
cool. It does look really cool.
I think it's only on PC at the minute. I'm not sure
I was
in terms of.
just about to ask if it was on PS5.
Pretty sure
That's
it's
Lewis out.
PC only at the minute.
Oh, and it's Devolver. Did you say that already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
The pen-
A mark of quality.
yeah, the pedigree. Yeah, the pedigree that it brings.
I'm unfortunately, that shows how long ago I used my deck. It's drained of battery, so I can't verify whether I've got access to it yet, Alex. But I'd imagine I have.
Well, if it's been drained for that long, Ben, there might be a few that you've not seen yet.
Ooh, Christmas has come early. Yeah. That's such a cool feature, though. Obviously, Lewis, I haven't really spoken to you about the deck experience, but that's a real, like, it's got some of the PC bollocks of stuff, just having to restart and update and do all the usual thing that
That's what puts me off.
People like us off doing anything PC related. But the cool thing about, like I said, with Game of Thrones, we managed to find a way that I could play that flawlessly, portably, even though I technically shouldn't be able to. And this family sharing thing is incredible as well. Like,
Yeah.
And that's only since Steam changed the family sharing, so that's only a very recent thing, roughly just as you got your Steam Deck. I think, Ben, that they updated how it worked.
yeah.
So usually
Good
it
timing.
used to be just one person could access the family library at a time, and now it's just a case of it just becomes a shared library.
And there we go. There is Angerfoot. I can confirm.
Oh, wow.
I have access to Angerfoot and whatever little other treats you've been picking up. Alex. Fantastic. Love it.
That's really been it from me. I've had Rise of the Ronin installed to play for must be a couple of months now, and I've still not got around to starting it.
You're right though. It's just you need to be in that place, and it's I know we've probably discussed it before, but a game that you love so much, coming off the back of it and trying to start anything new. Like for me, that was like it must have been 2022 finishing The Last of Us Part 2, and I finished it in October, and then I didn't really play anything that much until Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Yeah, I think you just played FIFA for like 6 months, didn't you?
Yeah, FIFA, Fortnite, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, which is fine. Like it's a detox kind of thing to do. Isn't
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a,
And I mean,
I think
obviously,
it's
there's
amazing.
been a lot of VR stuff in there. But
Obviously.
I don't. I've got other places to talk about that stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Do you guys want to play a little game?
oh,
We love a game, Ben.
Yeah.
We love a game.
is that Angerfoot?
It's not Angerfoot, no.
Is that
Me and
Chico?
Alex can play that. Unlucky. But I thought we could play a little game of Guess the Outro.
Oh,
So you, and, let us know if you think of a better name for it. But Guess the Outro. So we're going to play, at the end, we're going to play some music from a game that you guys have basically got 20 questions to guess
never gonna happen.
what game it is. Any game ever. I've got it in my mind.
We've only got 20 cases.
And you've got 20 guesses to narrow it down. And I will, along the way, I'll give you a clue if I can see you're floundering.
Prep those clues. So,
Just one.
So, beloved listener, I'm glad that Ben explained that because we actually, it wasn't a surprise that we're going to be doing this game. We discussed it in some detail up to this point, and for some reason I thought we would be guessing the actual song.
That's what I kind of had in my head.
Surely that's hard.
Well, what? Yeah,
you mean-
but
I always thought you were going to sing
you
it.
thought I was going to play a song and you just tell me what game it's from? Is that
Something
what you
like
thought was
that.
going to happen?
No, I don't think. I think it was like. Do you know what?
Do you know what?
I
I'm
can't
tired
even
of
explain.
you half listening to us. You didn't. Alex mentioned Devolver earlier. No, it's just rude. So no, the game is 20 questions. You guess the game, and then at the end we use a song from that game as the outro music.
Now I completely understand.
Yeah, simple as that. Good for the fifth time of explaining it to you. It's a very simple concept.
Work it out by episode 10.
Yeah, you get it. Question 1, go.
Oh, Alex, how will we play this?
Badly.
Should we try and
What
get
be in his
narrow it?
head? We should try and.
Oh, it's probably going to be some fucking shite for some game in the 80s.
Pocket card jockey or something. Like games that he's made up.
Pocket card jockey, yeah.
Bubble.
Should we try and get, I don't know, decade or, I don't know how to narrow this down. That's what I would.
Have you played it on your Steam Deck?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's question 1. No.
How many games has he actually played on the Steam Deck, though? That narrows, excludes
I think
4
he's got
games.
about 47 in his library or something.
That's a very precise number.
Don't know, I'm guessing.
Let's see. Has the game released in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Right, there we go. So back to 2014. What does that give us? PS4, 5,
4 and 5, yeah.
Xbox 360, Xbox One. No?
Xbox One and Series.
Hmm.
And the
What is he?
Switch.
Yeah. What is he likely? I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be like a big hitter, like a big blockbuster game for the first one.
Or is it? Well, should we see if it's an indie game? Should we ask that?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that an indie game?
It is an indie game, yes.
Oh my god! What a pull!
Great question. So that's 3 questions. So it's released in the last 10 years and it is an indie game.
So what indies is Ben like the music from? So you've got what? Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yeah. Celeste.
Hyperlight Drifter.
This might be a record. This might be easier than we thought. Damn it.
Well, I mean, I suppose we could ask, is it one of those 3 games that we've just mentioned?
What were they again?
Sayonara Wild Hearts, Celeste, Hyperlight Drifter.
No.
What other indie games had good soundtracks? Because he's going to pick a good song.
Yeah.
Undertale.
I might pick a rubbish song.
No, Ben's not going to pick a rubbish song. He just sings
What?
rubbish songs.
What different types of indie game? Like, is it pixel art? Is it?
Hades. It could be a Hades, couldn't it? Could it be Hades?
So that's 4 questions you've asked now, isn't it? I think.
Not asked anything yet.
No, I'm just checking. I'm just catching up on myself and trying to keep a tally. I think it's
That was. Yeah, I think that's the 4th question.
okay.
Where do we go next, Lewis?
What about? I was thinking like art style of the game. Like, is it like pixel art? Is it not pixel art? That kind of thing. I don't know how else to word it. Is it not pixel art? No. What type? That indie. It's one of those things. Like, it feels like it narrows it down, but at the same time, it doesn't.
Well, it's not. It's quite broad, isn't it? Like maybe nail down the genre. Good. I'll be quiet.
Okay. Yeah. Does it have a genre?
You both. It does have a genre. Yes. That's 5 questions.
Right. Is it a?
Roguelite.
Yeah.
Is it a rogue?
Or light. Is
Like
that
or like? No.
So what is that
Is
about?
it-
Like Moonlight or Hades?
I would say so. Is it a fighting type game?
A fighting type? No, it's not a fighting type game.
Okay, so
That's 6
rules out
questions.
fighting
Probably
and like
that-
side-scrolling games like Shredder's Revenge, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's probably an RPG then.
Ask.
Is it an RPG?
No.
Oh my god.
What's left then?
Platformer? That's not me asking you, Ben.
Well, you did. There was definitely an inflection that suggested
To
the
Alex.
presence
I
of
was
a question
I
mark.
was looking at Alex.
Wow.
That's another platformer.
So that's you're at 7 questions, by the way.
What was the last question?
Metroidvania. Is it a Metroidvania?
No, it's not. That's 8 questions.
Oh no. Right, I think it's time for a clue.
I'll give you a clue at 10.
Oh god. I've now seen what you're doing here, Ben. I'm gonna maybe remove some of those tally marks.
You leave my tally marks alone.
How else could we look at this? Because like,
So what indie games have we? What other indie games can we think of like over the last 10 years that
so it's not an
into a
RPG.
different genre? Not an RPG, not a roguelike, or like not a action
Metroidvania.
type game,
Yeah.
not a Metroidvania.
Oh, wait, what games does Ben like? We're talking like Vampire Survivors, Loop Hero, that kind of stuff.
Great game.
Gimmick games.
Gimmicky games.
Gimmick games.
Does
Cool
it have
games.
a pause feature?
Cool guys in the credits.
Yeah, that might be. How would you describe them? What are they?
Shite. A shite game.
Should we try just ask them that? Is it one of those two?
Is it one of those two?
So is it Vampire Survivors or Loop Hero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Damn it!
That's
two
9.
questions we've wasted on asking if it's a series of
Specific
specific games.
Yeah. I should just say that's not really in keeping with the spirit of this game. Just go, is it Halo?
What other games? What other games fit into what's left?
Games have music.
What games have music? Just Dance, is that a music? Is that an indie game?
It's not indie, is it? It's got music though. I mean, does Devolver do any other sort of? What other indie games does Ben like? I suppose he might not like it. I guess
It has to be a game that's got absolute bangers. It just has to be. It has to. Does the game have bangers?
is it a narrative game?
Expand on that.
Like a kind of story, like one that's really based on the story and decisions and stuff type game?
No.
I was
That's
thinking
10
like
questions.
I was thinking like Goodbye Volcano High or something because it's quite good song.
Oh
Great
yeah.
music. Great music. I might keep that for a future show. Right, that's 10. That means you've earned yourselves a clue.
Wow.
The clue is, to the best of my knowledge, you idiots don't like this game.
Does not narrow it down.
Oh, there's plenty that we don't like.
And just to add context, add flavour to that clue, Ben. And you do like it.
Is that a question?
No, it's just to add context and flavour to your clue.
Oh, no, that's an extra clue. But you could maybe take me calling you idiots for not liking it as a clue in itself.
That's why I thought something like Hades or something.
Yeah.
We've ruled that out.
Don't like an indie game. Don't like
What
Hades.
about that shitey one with the paintbrush? What does that class as?
Oh, Chico's World. What's it called?
Chicory.
Chico's World.
We're going to play Chico time at the end.
That's right, it's Chico's World. Amazing. Pulled it out of the bag. Oh, fantastic.
Chicory.
Chicory, because that doesn't really fit into any of the other categories.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, that's a good one. But is there an interesting mechanic in this game?
Yes. That is what was that? 11 questions.
So it might be Chicory.
Is it? Oh, what about is it? Is the main character in the game an animal?
Yes. Yeah. Main character is indeed an animal.
I think it must be that Ben. Sorry.
Yeah. Is it Chicory?
Is that a question
Yes.
to me?
Yes.
It is Chicory.
Yeah.
A colourful
Well
tale.
done.
Congratulations,
Well done,
lads.
Alex.
That was yeah.
That's
12
probably the best we've
questions.
ever done at this type of game.
Well done. I am seriously impressed.
Annoyingly, I thought about that one earlier and then forgot about it.
Yeah. No, it's a lovely soundtrack. You were close when you said Celeste, Lewis, because it's the same composer, Lena Rain, who did
So it is.
the OST of Chicory. A completely different style, much more chilled out and laid back. And the song we are going to use for the outro is a song. It's kind of like it's got a real like Zelda kind of overworld flavor to it. So I think you might like it, Lewis. It is Apple Foothills from Chicory, A Colourful Tale.